What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video, and welcome back to the NHL season preview series here back in the Metropolitan Division. Today we are going to be taking a look at the New York Islanders. We'll be taking a look at how they finished up last season with their record, team stats. We'll take a look at this upcoming season with the players that have left, the players that they've brought in, as well as take a look at projected lines and contracts for this upcoming season before I give you my prediction on what I think the Islanders are going to be doing this upcoming season. But if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We just hit 500 subscribers the other day. We're looking to hit 750 here before Christmas, so hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. And like anything NHL hockey related, we are going to be covering this all season long. But without further ado, let's go ahead, hop into this video, and take a look at the New York Islanders. Having had an interesting season last year, the Islanders finished up with 84 points and a record of 37, 35, and 10. Team stats on the screen right now show the tail of the tape. Goals for, they were only 24th in the league, whereas on the back end, goals against, they were 10th in the league. So quite a contrast right there of scoring goals versus actually giving them up. Their power play was a surprising 22.1% with a penalty kill of 84.2%. Again, the team had a very interesting year last year with COVID at the start of the year and injuries. It was just an up and down season. Their best point getter last year was Brock Nelson, actually tied with Matthew Barzal. Nelson had 72 games played. Barzal had 73 games played, and they both had 59 points. Barzal was actually a minus 15 as well. Kind of crazy there. Noah Dobson, 51 points in 80 games played. Anders Lee, 46 points in 76 games played. Josh Bailey then with 44 points in only 74 games played. Very interesting stuff. The goaltending, Sorokin actually had a decent year, 26 wins, 18 losses, and 8 overtime losses. Had a .925 save percentage with a goals against average of .240. They're going to need a little bit more of that this upcoming season if they want to contend for a wild card spot in the Eastern Conference, which is always going to be tough when you're going up against the likes of the Capitals, the Rangers, the Penguins, the Hurricanes, and other teams within the Atlantic Division this upcoming season. But taking a look now, the players that have actually left the squad, only a short list of actually players that they have left and that they've brought in. As we know, Lou Lamoriello is normally one to sit back in his chair and watch everything in the offseason. Typically, players left: Zdeno Chara calling it a career, actually signing a one-day deal with the Boston Bruins to retire from the NHL. And then longtime defenseman for the Islanders, not really long time for the Islanders, but long time in the league, Andy Green, calling it a time with the New York Islanders. So moving on from them, but the players that they've brought in, really one of them only bringing in, the other one should make the team that had in their stable for a while. Alexander Romanov coming over from the Montreal Canadiens on the back end, as well as Atu Ratti looking to see if he can crack the lineup, which I believe he should, which on the screen right now are their projected lines according to Puckpedia. First line, you got Bailey, Nelson, Palmieri. I wouldn't say the best of first lines. You could really switch Nelson and Barzal around. But the second line, as of now, they state Parise, Barzal, and Bolivier. Interesting second line. We'll take a look at contracts in a second, but there are a few contracts that they need to get done. Third line, as of this, Lee, Pajot, Wallstrom. Honestly, very solid third line if that's what they end up going with. And then the fourth line, you've got Martin, Cizikas, and Clutterbuck. That is actually one of the toughest fourth lines that I've seen doing this series so far, of just sandpaper, grit, in-your-face hockey players. That's actually awesome for them and is really the Islanders' way of play. Although with the new coach, who knows, that might change a little bit. On the back end, you've got Romanoff, Dobson, Pelech, and Pollock, and then you've got Salo and Mayfield. Again, all of those could be pretty interchangeable when it comes to who actually plays with who and injuries. Between the pipes, you've got Sorokin and Varlamov. Be interesting to see if Sorokin can continue on with a solid year and good stats. But when it comes to Varlamov, he is coming on the last year of his deal, and who knows, he is 34 years old. If they look to maybe re-sign him at a cheaper deal moving forward, or if this is his last season with the Islanders, it'll be interesting to see. But talking about contracts, on the screen now are the contracts for the New York Islanders. You got a couple big names, and note more so one over all the rest, Matthew Barzal. There was a report recently that he is wanting to get a deal done before the season actually starts. So within the next week or two, we should be seeing something potentially get done, I would think, around the 8 for 8, 8 for 8.5 range, or even if he wants a big pay bump to get that to 9 to 10 million. I don't know what he's actually going to want. He'll probably want more than $7 million a year, definitely on his next deal. You're going to have to potentially re-sign Richard Panik to a deal. He is 31 years old, more of a depth forward. I don't think they'll actually end up bringing him back. Kiefer Bellows, I think they will try to re-sign, just being a little bit younger, 24 years old. This is a contract year at the restricted deal range, so we'll have to see how he does. Oliver Wahlstrom, I think, is somebody you need to re-sign. He is a very solid hockey player. He is 22 years old as well. They need to find a way to bring him back. I would think at this point he's going to maybe want a bridge deal, but he also only had 24 points last year in 73 games played, so he's going to have a pretty big year if he wants a deal to stick around with the squad. He'll probably need at least 50 points if he wants maybe like a 3x3, 3x3, 3 years, $3 million a year. That could be something, but again, cap room is going to be interesting with the Barzal deal that they're going to need to get done. And then Parise, this might be the last time he plays in the NHL, or somebody picks him up next year like the Devils, bring him back for one more year. And then on the back end, you really have to only take care of Scott Mayfield. Everyone else on the back end is taken care of when it comes to contracts needing to be signed. And as I said earlier, between the pipes, Varlamov is on the last year of his deal at $5 million a year, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with his contract, and if they do plan on bringing him back. I think it'll have to depend on how he really plays this year. Last year, he had a .911 save percentage with a .291 goals against average, went 10-17-2. They're going to need a little bit more out of him if they want to try to bring him around. I know the Islanders also actually signed Schneider to an extension, 1-year contract. They actually signed Schneider, so who knows, maybe there's something there in the pipeline that Schneider could maybe find some lightning in a bottle, but tough to say. But when it comes to my predictions for this upcoming season, I expect the Islanders to do a little bit better than they did last year if they can stay healthy and put some things together. Also with the new coach, it'll be interesting to see what they can do with Lane Lambert, if that's going to bring a little bit more offensive pizzazz to their lineup, allow Barzal to get out of his defensive shell and not have to play the Barry Trotz style of hockey. I think that could benefit a lot of players such as Bolivier, Barzal, Palmieri, Bailey, Nelson, even players on the back end such as Dobson and Romanoff. It'll be interesting to see how this new style of play will allow them to break out of their shell and have a little bit more offensive pizzazz to their game. Again, 24th in the league last year for goals for. If they want to find a way to make a run for the playoffs, they're going to need to get that at least in the top 15 and keep their goals against in the top 15 as well. I think if that's the case this upcoming season, you can expect them to be making a push for a wild card spot for sure. I think the division is a little bit too hard, too strong for them to get an actual second or third place in the division, but I definitely see the Islanders pushing for a wild card spot this year, maybe around that 95 to 100 point range this upcoming season. Sneak in as the last wild card, or even get that first wild card spot. Again, I want to hear from you Islanders fans down below in the comments. Who's going to have the biggest year? Are the Islanders going to re-sign Barzal to a long-term extension? Who's going to be a sneaky good player that we're not expecting for the Islanders this upcoming season? Is Aturati going to crack the lineup? Is the goaltending going to be a brick wall this year with the tandem of Sorokin and Varlamov, the Russian wall? Is Sorokin going to have a Vezina-type season, almost like Shesterkin did for the Rangers last year? Is the defense going to be able to stay healthy this upcoming season? I want to know what you guys have to say about the Islanders and what you expect them to do this upcoming season. So drop those comments down below. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this video. If you've made it to this point so far in the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stick around. We're going to be doing these videos all season long, and we'll be bringing some new videos as well throughout the season. But that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, stay dusty.